I decided to take magic mushrooms for 3 consecutive days and vlog the experience, so let's get into it. Hi, my name is Jillian, and this is my channel, Jillian by Design, where I am embarking on a journey to become the best version of myself and live life the way it was intended to be lived. As you saw from the intro, today we're talking about shrooms. I feel like there's a lot of stigmas and misconceptions about psychedelics, especially within the Black community, and I am doing this because I would like to demystify some of that stigma. I've done shrooms a few times over the past couple of years, and they have changed my life in ways that I never thought was possible. I found mushrooms to be an incredibly helpful tool for deep introspection and healing my personal traumas. I'm at a point in life where I have a lot of questions about where I'm headed and what I'm meant to be doing. And so I planned this 3-day experience to hopefully get some answers around how to tackle my personal goals for 2025 and beyond. Before I get into how this specific experience went, I want to give a few key pieces of information for anyone who's interested in trying mushrooms yourself, so you know a little bit about what to expect. And also let me know if you want me to do a more in-depth, like shrooms one-on-one, what to expect from your first trip. I can do that in another video. The first thing that I want to know is that your trip will be very heavily influenced by your mental state at the time of doing the shrooms. So if you are not in a good place mentally, you're depressed, you're fighting some demons, you got some things going on that you might not be ready to confront, mushrooms are not the thing for you. And also, if you have any diagnosed mental illnesses or concerns about an undiagnosed mental illness, also be careful. There is research and evidence about using shrooms to treat certain mental illnesses, but again, you gotta use your own discretion and discernment on if you feel like you're in a space to handle what mushrooms are gonna give you. The next thing that I want to know is that the intentions you set for your trip also do a lot in terms of setting the tone for how the experience is going to be. Like, recreational use of mushrooms is fun as well if you just like the cool visuals, you want to do them when you're going to a rave, a party, whatever. But I kind of feel like it's wasted if that's all you do with it and not explore the other ways that they can benefit your life. And the third thing that I want to know is that your environment will also play a really big factor in how your overall experience goes. I would not recommend for your first time doing mushrooms to do it in any sort of crowded public place, because you're probably just going to end up being very paranoid and it's going to take away from the experience for you. A lot of people like to go to nature and like walk through parks. I think that that's great, but it's 1 degree in Chicago right now, so that's not on the table for me. And if you have no other option, doing them at home is perfect. Also, a lot of people say that you should not do shrooms alone, like you should have like a trip sitter or someone to help you if you do start freaking out or whatever. I personally have never done that. I didn't feel like it was something that I needed, and I was right. But again, use your own discretion on that piece as well. And if you're not going to do them with someone, at least like let a friend or someone know so that someone can check on you if they haven't heard from you in a while, just to make sure that you didn't lose your mind. You're not going to lose your mind. But anyways. If you've done any level of reading up on magic mushrooms, then you've probably seen the term psilocybin, and that is the like chemical compound that actually makes the mushrooms have psychedelic effects. But there are different like strains and varieties of magic mushrooms that have like varying effects similar to different strains of weed. And the specific ones that I did for this experience are called golden teachers. I can't remember what the technical name is, but you can Google it. Also, I'll like put it on the screen. But those ones are specifically good for doing this kind of deep introspective work that I'm talking about, hence the name teacher, because they're supposed to help you, learn things about yourself. And then as far as dosage goes, I had 3.5 grams total, and I consumed all of it across the 3 days. And I just kind of eyeballed the amount. So day 1, I did about 2 grams, and then the next day 1, and the last day, whatever was left. I want to preface by saying that the vlog portion of this video is a bit chaotic, so I'm going to wrap up the key takeaways at the end, but I wanted to give you a realistic view of what it's like, so that's what I've done. Day 1 of my 3-day magic mushroom excursion. Hopefully I covered all of the relevant disclaimers in the intro, because we're going to get right to it. I have decided that for all 3 days, I'm going to consume in the form of a tea. Nausea is a very common side effect when consuming magic mushrooms, and so I am consuming it as a tea because I found that upset my stomach the least. And I'm also doing something called lemon teaking, which basically means that you soak the shrooms in lemon juice before consuming, because it helps break down the psychoactive compounds or whatever, so that it gets into your system faster, and also allegedly helps with the nausea as well. I'm making my tea in my mini French press, and I got the lemon tea going right now. It looks gross, it smells gross, mushrooms are gross, but you're not doing it because it tastes good. I've had this sitting for like 10 minutes. It says to do it for 20 to 30, but I'm getting restless. It's already 1 p.m. and I'm ready to make my tea. Alright, I've got my tea and my drink coffee stay high mug. I added some honey to help a bit with the taste. I'm gonna chug this really quick, and just like that, we're off to the races. It is 2 p.m. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day because you also should not eat before a trip, again, because of the nausea, and you will likely throw that food right back up. At least that's what happened when I did it. And so I'm not gonna eat anything right now, but I do have some little snacks prepared if I decide that I want that. I would have started this earlier in the day, but I had to get my nails done, you know, priorities. They're very cute. Take a look, take a look. And yeah, I don't have anything to say right now, so we'll come back when I start feeling some effects. I'm 20 minutes in and something is definitely occurring. I put on a hoodie because I didn't want to turn on my space heater because it's gonna make too much noise, but I'm cold. That's one thing, like when you're doing mushrooms, you want your environment and everything to be like as comfortable as possible. You don't want anything that makes you feel like not good. Okay, the hood is a bit much. But for me, like when it starts to kick in, the way that I know is because like everything is just a little more intense. Like the same sounds that you were hearing before, they're just not like louder, but you're just like really hearing them. And like when you look at colors and stuff, like everything, you're just really seeing it. And the more you look at it and the more it starts to kick in, you're like, wait, are these things moving? Like what's going on with my environment? That's what's happening right now. And yeah, usually like when I'm doing mushrooms, I don't have a strong urge to like be on technology. Like it doesn't make me want to like watch TV or really like be on my phone very much. So I'm gonna record to tell y'all what's going on, but I don't know how much I'm gonna feel like talking once we really get into it. My tummy's hurting. I need to refill my water bottle. We're 45 minutes in, my wig is off, and I have an update. I'm sitting here thinking about choices, like the concept of choices, the fact that our life is really just like a combination of different choices. Every little thing that you do is a choice. The way that you decide to string some words together to form a sentence is a choice. Like there's different ways to say the same thing. Okay, losing that train of thought. Also, I'm looking at my like photo wall just because, again, like mushrooms, it's a visual thing and there's just cool stuff to look at here. But what was I saying? Picking up this camera to even record, I was like, is this like a good point to make the update? And that's kind of where I started going into this spiral of like, who are you even asking that to? Like who's gonna tell you whether or not it's the right idea? It's just a choice. Everyone makes choices. Everything is a choice. These silly little videos that I make are they're gonna matter one day. Today, in this day. Shrooms are so weird, bro. Like it's feel like my purpose in this life is to master the art of existing, to just be, and to see that as something profound in itself without requiring anything actually profound. I need to find the light. I need to find my light. And once I find my light, maybe the thoughts will make more sense. Let's find the light. Let's turn off. Where the fuck is my light? I gotta look up what triple consciousness means. But first, I have to find my light. I could just turn on the big light to find it, but I don't know. Something's telling me not to. Something's telling me to look somewhere else. To look within. Why did I literally just find it as soon as I fucking said that? Was that a revelation? I think it was. I'm really glad that I was recording for this. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to put this light on here. With the way I have my like phone mounted with like a little octobuddy, the light is gonna make it fall off. So where are we gonna attach the light so that we can get, or maybe the light won't make it fall off? How strong are you, octobuddy? You know, that's the problem. I gotta stop questioning the fact that things can be real for me. That is the revelation that we had to come to today, is that I have to stop assuming that things can't be when they in fact can. The light is on the phone. The phone is on the octobuddy. It's just a little rubber magnet that's holding this all together. Why am I putting my wig back on? Cause nobody, you don't have to look crazy for the message to make sense. And I don't want to look crazy when I deliver my message personally. I think the pretty package is kind of a part of the deal, you know? Should I stop recording? I'm not gonna stop recording. This is the stuff that I needed to get on camera, bitch. I kept picking up my camera like in the midst of this trip, trying to find the words, trying to figure out. I was like, why isn't it making sense? I can't say what I'm trying to say. Like, I can't think, nothing's working. And then I just fucking hit play, stuck that shit on my window and just started roaming around, and all of a sudden, there's all the answers. You gotta stop looking so hard. You, me, everybody. Who am I talking to? Am I really going to post this on the internet? Like, I feel like I look insane. People will think I'm insane. Maybe I am insane, and maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone down now. Day 2 of mushroom tripping. Day 1 really took a lot out of me, so we're gonna take it down a notch today. Yesterday I did about like 2 grams, and today we're going to do 1. Got my lemon tea going, and my like tea kettle just heated up. Which, by the way, make me in the French press. Awful fucking idea. Do not do that. Like, it was getting all caught in the crevices of this thing, and it took me forever to clean it, and I still low-key am about to be microdosing the next time I make my morning coffee. Not that I consider that a bad thing. And so yeah, let's get moving and grooving. All right. And then I'm just gonna cover this with something so that it can like steam my matcha bowl. And then I'm gonna strain it and just take it to the head like a shot. It honestly doesn't taste as bad as it looks. I was being dramatic when I recorded yesterday, but it's definitely not good. All right. Bottoms up. It is 2 p.m. I think, or maybe 1:30. We'll check back and see what happens when I start feeling something. 30 minutes in, I kind of feel like I just took an edible pretty much. Not feeling called to do anything in particular. Like yesterday, I didn't want to hear any noises, like any stimulation. Like I was really just like laying down with a blanket over my head, like in silence, just doing internal processing. And today I'm feeling more like I want some stimulation. So right now I'm watching A Different World because it just got back on Netflix and I'm hungry today. So I'm eating my same little snack that I had yesterday and I'm just gonna see where my mind wanders. Because I'm happy. If you see that happiness is the truth, because I'm happy in a room without a roof. Literally, what are the fucking words? Shortly after that joyful karaoke moment, the emotional roller coaster took a sharp dive into grief, and I just started crying. Like, I was trying to tell a story that definitely has some relevance to this whole experience and the death of my father, but even as I try to make this voiceover, I'm just not finding the words. So to sum it up, I'm still sad that my dad is dead and shrooms can't fix that. Nothing can. And so I'm finding a way to live with it, I guess. After that intense sob session, I took a very long nap and finished my evening with a hot yoga class. I felt like a good sweat was the perfect way to wrap up this much needed emotional release. Hello, it is supposed to be day 3 of mushroom tripping and I decided I actually didn't feel like it today. I had therapy at 1 p.m. so I was already planning to wait until after my therapy appointment so that I wasn't in there high. Which, by the way, my therapist told me that today she felt like my energy was a lot lighter than it has been our last few appointments, so maybe the drugs are working. But yeah, so today I just felt like I didn't have any reason to force doing it if I didn't really feel like it. And because I'm not in the mood, I doubt that if I did them today, it would have been like a fruitful experience. But we are still going to complete the 3rd day. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. I feel like in terms of the intentions that I set for this whole experience, I already got what I was looking for out of the first 2 days. And so tomorrow, I think I'm just gonna do something fun. As I mentioned, on day 1, I took 2 grams and yesterday I took 1 gram. And the 1 gram amount, as I said, it felt kind of just like a strong-ish edible. And online, when I was looking up recommendations for dosage and stuff, if you take within that 1 to 2 grams, some people call it a museum dose. And the reason that it's called that is because basically it's more than a microdose, so it's enough that you'll kind of notice it, but you're not gonna be fully tripping. So it's just an amount that would have you feeling good, feeling happy, like something that could enhance the experience of going to a museum or taking a nature walk. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And I know that in the winter they have free museum days, so I need to research that, and we're gonna end up going wherever I could go for free. Hey y'all, it's Friday, museum day. I'm having a light breakfast, some yogurt with granola and blueberries and some hash browns. I'm really glad I decided to take an off day yesterday because I feel like I was not giving enough credit to the fact that doing shrooms is a very mentally taxing experience, and 2 days in a row was a bit tiring. So yesterday I just kind of lounged around a lot. Okay, I got myself a little more dolled up since we're going out and about today. We are going to the Art Institute of Chicago. Different museums around Chicago have free days on different days of the week and different times of the year. And at the Art Institute for Illinois residents, it's free on Thursdays, Fridays, and I think they said Mondays on the website as well. I got my shroom juice on deck ready to go. I put it in this little bottle that I use for my ginger shots because it's a 20-minute ride to the museum and I didn't want it to start kicking in before I'm settled and got my bearings at the place. So I'm just going to take it as soon as I get there. I enjoyed the art, and while I show you some of my favorite pieces, I want to talk about my reflections, which are more so focused on observations from me watching the other museum patrons. Most people observe art without actually seeking to understand it. And as I was watching people drift in and out of the rooms in the museum, they weren't ever stopping to read the plaques, to learn the name of the artist, to understand the pieces that they were looking at, to find deeper meaning beyond some cool colors and interesting sculptures. And that observation transitioned to me thinking about how many people go through life with that same haphazard lack of intention, and how it must be incredibly boring to exist in such a surface level world. And this really highlights one of the things that I love about shrooms, the way that it helps you dig a little deeper, helps uncover those things that are under the surface. The museum dose is accurately named, and I thoroughly enjoyed my visit to the new and limited Project a Black Planet exhibit at the Art Institute. It was so good, in fact, that I might actually need to return before the exhibit is gone on March 14th, and I highly recommend that you check it out if you're in Chicago as well. But if you can't make it in person, hopefully you at least enjoy this little montage. In conclusion, this was a great idea. I got exactly what I intended to accomplish out of the experience, and I want to go over some key takeaways from the 3 days. And also, I am recording this several days after doing this, and there's a few other things that I've noticed in these following days that I want to talk about as well. I came into this experience hoping it would uncover some specific answers to these questions I've had about areas in life where I've been feeling very stuck and stagnant. But I came out of it with the realization that the only place that I'm stuck is inside of my own head. I'm realizing that I have been creating the conditions of my own struggle for a long while in a lot of different ways, because when it comes to this journey of self-improvement, yes, you should always constantly be trying to become a better version of you. But I needed to shift my mindset to understand that constantly working on myself does not mean that I always have something to fix. Sometimes you just gotta vibe, you just gotta exist. You have to go through the motions, experience the different chapters of life, and just observe what they're here to bring you. And that's a phase in life that I'm in right now that I'm coming to be comfortable with, because it's felt uneasy. And that segues well to my next takeaway, which is that I need to let go of this idea that I'm ever gonna figure out what I wanna do with my life. Some people, they have very specific goals and things that they chase after in life that they devote all of their energy to, and that works for them. But I realize I'm just not that kind of person. I'm never gonna have just one thing, because I'm not meant to do just one thing. I feel like my purpose is to do all the things that I do and document it in a way that resonates with me. Emphasis on the documentation piece. I'm new to YouTube, but I'm not new to content creation. And of all of the areas and things in life that I felt lost and confused on, I am certain of the fact that I love making content. I love talking about myself, sharing my life, doing things like what I'm doing in this video. And I know that my calling, whatever it is and whatever it will be, will always involve some degree of this public vulnerability. Because this is something that I recognize a lot of people really struggle with. A lot of people could not pick up this phone, get on the internet and tell their business the way that I do. And I'm not gonna say that it's always easy for me, but it's definitely not hard. And it's not something that I ever feel like I don't want to do. It's something that has always felt natural. And the more I lean into it, the closer I feel like I get to figuring it out, whatever it is. And that revelation was especially comforting for me, because for a long while, I felt like I was looking for this thing that I'm meant to do in life and not finding it. But I realized that I actually am in a way already existing in this calling and this thing that I think I'm supposed to do. And I have been for quite some time. I just was too busy distracted, feeling like I was doing something wrong, to look around and realize that I was actually accomplishing exactly what I wanted to. And now I want to talk about some of the lasting effects that have gone beyond what came from those 4 days, since I technically lied since it wasn't 3 consecutive days, but that was a better catchy title. The major lasting effect that I think I'm noticing since doing this, and this kind of contributes to the subsequent ones that I'll talk about as well, is that I think that mushroom brought some balance back to my nervous system. Like, I felt very anxious and dysregulated for so long that I can't even remember the last time in life that I didn't feel that way. And as of the past couple of days, I don't know, something's just different. Work is one example that I'll use. I've been off of work for 6 weeks now. Since my dad passed, I went on FMLA, and I was having a lot of anxiety about being off of work, even though I followed all the proper protocol. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong by missing work at this time. It just felt like I was worried that something going on with my projects was going to go wrong, or someone was going to find a mistake or something that I did wrong, like while I was at work prior to taking this time off. And when I come back, they're going to be like, you fucked up, and it's going to be like a whole mess. And then I just realized that, like, that was silly, because no one has actually said anything to give me an indication that I've messed up. It was just all in my head. And that ability to like identify the anxiety and talk myself out of the thoughts is something that I've been doing like all day, every day, with various different thoughts in these past like couple of days, in a way that like I've struggled to do forever. Another area where I'm noticing improvement is with my focus and concentration. I have ADHD, so that's a constant uphill battle for me. And I haven't taken my meds since before I did the shrooms, and I haven't felt like I needed to, because I've been able to be productive and get things done and stay on task in a way that I typically could only do when I was taking my meds. I am going to go back to taking them, but I just wanted to include that. Another area where I've noticed significant improvement is with sleep. I just came to a point where I accepted insomnia as a part of my life. Like, ever since I was a kid, I've always been a night owl. I've always like just not slept that much. Like, I average like 5 hours of sleep a night, and that's fine for me. But since doing this, I've been waking up feeling very rested and going to sleep, like feeling tired and ready for bed at a normal hour, like 11 p.m. instead of 3 a.m. I've even started to remember some of my dreams, which is an experience that I have not had in a while because I smoke a lot. And I think that means that I'm getting REM sleep again. And I haven't stopped smoking, so that's why I'm attributing it to the mushrooms. And I do kind of want to take a break from smoking to see if I can get some more of that back, because I want to know what the dreams are going to tell me as well. And last is creativity. I've been feeling so stuck creatively, but as of late, I've just had an endless supply of ideas. And I think that there's multiple contributors to that, but I'm adding the shrooms to the list. Even in thinking about like putting this vlog together, when I started it, I wasn't sure if I was going to make this a YouTube video, because I don't know, I just didn't know if it was going to be good, but I'm finding the ways to make it good, or at least I hope I am. You let me know if you liked it. And now I feel like I'm starting to ramble, so let's wrap this up. If you do shrooms, I highly recommend documenting it in some capacity, whether it's a video or journaling, sending yourself voice notes, whatever, because doing shrooms is kind of like a dream, where it's like when you wake up from sleeping, you can remember and recall details to tell somebody about the dream. But if you don't like say it out loud, you don't make it real, it'll just disappear in your brain. And if you're enjoying this discussion about psychedelics, let me know what else you would want to talk about. I recently purchased this book, Black Psychedelic Revolution by Nicholas Powers. I'm trying to put together a little book club on TikTok, so if you want to tap in with that, follow me over there, Jillian by Design as well. And that's all she wrote, so I'm gonna let you go. Like the video, leave a comment telling me your favorite part, and subscribe for more. Bye. And if I decide not to edit an intro because I'm about to go on vacation and I really want to get this video up before I do so, this is me rambling to give you some time to like it and leave that comment before YouTube auto plays to the next video. Okay, bye.